Hi everyone, welcome back to C programming tutorial series. In my last video I completed the discussion on decision making with switch statement. If you guys have not seen that video which I have made on switch statement, then I just recommend you guys to watch that video as well. And in today's video I'm going to discuss about decision making with looping or decision making with loops. Okay, so before coming to today's topic, I just want to tell you guys that if you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you guys have any questions, then let me know in the comment section. Now let us start our discussion on the today's topic of looping, or what is loop. Loop is one of the technique in any programming language where some set of instruction will get executed again and again until some specific condition gets satisfied. Okay, that is what I have mentioned here in the first point. Sequence of statements are executed until some conditions for termination of the loop are satisfied. So basically what we are doing in the loop is we will be keep on executing certain statements again and again until some specific condition for termination gets satisfied. So this is what the concept of looping, and this concept can be used in many situations while you will be writing down program in any programming language. Next point is a program with loop consists of two segments. Okay, so whenever we will be using loops in our program, that feature or that concept consists of two segments. One segment is the body of the loop, okay, where we used to write the statements, and the other known as the control statement. So the first segment is known as the body of the loop where we used to write the statements, and the second segment is the condition, initialization and increment and decrement. Okay, so we'll see the syntax of for loop or the structure of for loop, and with that structure it will be helpful for you to understand the concept in a better manner. Next point is the control statement tests certain conditions and then directs the repeated execution of the statements contained in the body of the loop. Okay, so what does this mean is the control statements test certain conditions. If that condition gets satisfied, then the control will come inside the body of the loop where there will be some set of statements will be there, and since the condition gets satisfied, then those statements present under the body gets executed for specific number of time. Next is depending on the position of the control statement in the loop, a control structure may be classified either as the entry control loop or as the exit control loop. So in looping we have two types of loops, entry control loop and then exit control loop. So based on the position of the condition in a program, whenever we will be using loops are divided into two types. First one is entry control loops and second one is exit control loop. Okay, so we will see these two types of loops further in our upcoming videos. I hope you guys have understood what is loop. A loop is a way where we used to execute some set of statements again and again until some specific condition gets satisfied. So once that condition gets satisfied, then we will stop executing those set of statements which we used to write under the body of the loop. So I hope the concept is clear to you. Okay, so now we will further try to understand this concept with the help of a example. So here on the left side, here you can see with this example you will come to know what is the need of loop, why one should learn loops, and what advantage you will get if you learn loops, if you write the programs using loops. Okay, so here you can see I have written few instructions and I have taken few variables and I have initialized values to those variables. Okay, I have declared 10 variables of type integer and I have initialized values from 1 to 10 to each and every variable. Then I want to make the addition of each and every of these values which I have stored inside these variables. If I don't know the concept of loops, then the very first approach that will come into my mind is just to add the variables which will hold the values. So A hold the value 1, B hold the value 2, like this. C, D, E, F, G, H, I and J, each and every of these variables are holding some specific values. Since I don't know the concept of loops and I don't know the advantage of loops, so what I will do is I will just go for adding these variables so that I can make the sum of these 10 values, and then I will print the sum. So this is also possible, this way of making the sum is also possible, but when you have less numbers to add, then it can be a considerable approach. But when the number of values or the variables gets increased, then you cannot declare 50 or 25 different variables to hold different values, and you cannot make the addition of those 25 variables. So at that time it will become difficult for you to make the addition, because here in this case I'm trying to make the same task again and again. And what is that task? That task is addition. Okay, so when you have this situation where you are performing the same kind of activity again and again, then instead of you manually doing this, what you can do is you can use the loops. So on the left side example, I have tried to add these 10 variables without using loops, whereas on the right side I have done the same solution, but approach is different. Here on the right side also I am making the sum of 10 numbers from 1 to 10, but here I am using the concept of for loop. Okay, so here you can see I have declared I some variable. Both of these variables are of type integer, and I have initialized the value of 0 to sum. Now next I want to make the sum of number 1 to 10. So what I will do is I will use this for loop. Okay, so here this is the way you should use the for loop. It's one of the loops. We have various types of loops: for loop, while loop, do while loop. So in this case, just to make you understand the concept or the purpose of loop, I have used the for loop. So the structure of for loop will be like this. So the for keyword we should use followed by I equals to 1, which is the initialization part. That means I am initializing or passing the initial value to the variable I. Then the next part is I less than or equals to 10. This is the condition part. This condition tells me that how long this for loop needs to execute itself again and again. It should start from the value of I equals to 1, and it should execute or repeat itself until I value will become less than or equal to 10. Okay, when the value of I becomes more than 10, then the for loop will get terminated. So now this is first part. I equals to 1 is the initialization, and I is less than or equals to 10 is the condition, and then there is a third part which is I plus plus, which is increment. So first time when the I value is 1, then the control will come to this part, condition part, where the value of I, which is 1 is less than or equals to 10, which is I value is 1 is less than or equals to 10. Yes, this condition gets satisfied. Now this condition gets satisfied, then this sum equals to sum plus I will get executed. So the value of sum is 0 plus value of I is 1, so 0 plus 1 will become 1, and that 1 will get stored inside this variable sum. Next control will come to I plus plus. Earlierly the value of I was 1. Now since I gets incremented by 1, so the I value will become 2. Okay, then control will come again to this first part. Now the I value gets updated to 2. So now I value will become 2. That 2 gets matched with 10. 2 is less than or equals to 10. Yes, condition true. Since this condition gets true, the control come inside the for loop. Then this operation gets performed. Sum in the earlier iteration was 1. Now 1 plus I is 2. 1 plus 2 becomes 3, and the sum now becomes 3. Like this, next I again gets incremented by 1. I value will become 3. So for I value equals to 3, 3 gets matched with 10. 3 is less than or equals to 10. Yes, condition becomes true. Then the control comes inside the for loop to make the sum of sum, which is 3 according to the second iteration. 3 plus I value is 3 now, so 3 plus 3 becomes 6, and the 6 gets stored inside the sum. Like this, every time I value gets incremented by 1, and if the condition gets satisfied, then the control comes inside this for loop and perform this operation to make the sum. So now you only decide which way is the better way for you to make the addition of numbers from 1 to 10. So this is the crispier way and easier way and efficient way of making the addition of 10 numbers. So with this approach, the code becomes smaller and the entire program will get executed in less time. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood what is loop, what is the advantage of loop. Okay, and with the help of these two examples I have tried to make you understand what advantages you will get if you go for writing the program using the loops. And I also explained you the structure of for loop. Although we will be discussing regarding for loop, while loop, do while loop in our upcoming videos in more detail, but just to make you understand this concept I have also explained the this initialization, condition and increment parts. Okay, so this is what the explanation of loops or looping, or what is loop. So I hope you guys have understood this concept very well. So I will just stop this video here, and I will see you guys in my next video, where I will be discussing about two types of loops, which is entry control loop and the second one is exit control loop. So that's all for this video, guys. If you guys like this video, click on like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and if you guys have any questions then let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching.